One of the things I've learned over the years is that momentum is a lot more important than motivation because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel energized. Some days you wake up ready to take on the world. And then there are other days, days when you're tired, days when you're overwhelmed, days when you don't really feel like it, you don't want to do anything. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. Because right now my life feels a little messy. Not bad, not terrible, just busy. There are a lot of moving pieces. I'm almost 80 videos into a 100 video challenge. You sit down to work on one thing, and then suddenly you're thinking about 10 other things. You start planning, then you start worrying, then you start researching, then you start comparing, then all of a sudden you're interrupted and you forgot where you were to begin with. So I've gone from around 1,100 views to 5,000 views in a couple of months, and I'm very grateful for the support and the kind comments. I've doubled my subscribers, I've learned new editing skills, I've taken on new software, I've become a little more comfortable on camera. I have new gear that I love, and I will share my gear list in the future. But none of that would have happened because I sat around waiting for certainty. It happened because I kept showing up. I redesigned my studio, I've learned new skills, and I think that's one of the reasons why we can get stuck, because none of that would have happened had I not started. We imagine that successful people have everything figured out. What I'm learning is if you look closely, a lot of successful people are simply willing to move before they have everything completely certain. They're willing to be beginners, they're willing to learn as they go, and they're willing to take imperfect action. That's something I've been trying to get better at myself, because I always thought I had to be perfect, had everything sorted out, everything planned, everything scripted, everything the way it was meant to be. But that was an excuse and possibly fear talking. Because another lesson I've learned is that momentum doesn't usually come without taking baby steps. Every few videos I learned a new skill or added a new feature or was able to up-level my channel. I would not have known all of that had I not started. We tend to imagine that change happens through massive breakthroughs. And sometimes it does. But more often it happens through ordinary decisions made every day. So one workout, one walk, one application, one conversation, one client follow-up, one video, one day at a time. So one thing I find helpful when everything feels overwhelming is reducing the horizon. Instead of trying to solve the next 5 years, I focus on the next steps because that's much more attainable and less overwhelming. What's the next important thing? What's the next meaningful action? What's the next decision that moves things forward? Because when I start thinking about everything at once, I get overwhelmed. But when I focus on the next steps, things become much more manageable again. So right now, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to solve my entire future this week or even today. I'm not trying to answer every question. I'm not trying to have every answer. I'm not trying to create the perfect plan. I'm trying to finish the challenge. Keep improving, keep learning, keep building skills, keep creating opportunities, keep building connections, keep showing up. And honestly, I think that's what momentum looks like. Not perfection, not certainty, not having everything figured out. Just continuing to move forward, even when things aren't completely clear. Maybe, especially when things aren't completely clear. Because some of the best opportunities in my life started before I felt ready. Some of the biggest lessons came after I took action. And some of the most meaningful growth happened when I was still figuring things out. So if you're feeling stuck right now, maybe your life doesn't need a big, massive overhaul. Maybe you don't need a completely new plan. Maybe you don't need another fresh start. Maybe you just need one meaningful step, one action, one decision, one thing that moves you forward. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking about movement. Momentum comes from actually moving. And sometimes building a bigger life starts by simply taking the next step that's right in front of you.